Let's get ready to rumble!
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Cristero, Guadalupano. This is La Pura Neta, the real deal. Always has been, always will be. Catholic.
Modesty. Catholic dress code. Introduction. From Femme and Beauty and Modesty by Father Louis Pieronne, SSPX. Taken from Chapter 1. Beauty and Modesty. The radiance of beauty broken by the fall. With sin, disorder came into the world, and into man himself. After man's act of disobedience, instinct ceased to be subject to the soul which had ceased to be subject to God. Innocence was lost. God had provided Adam with this instinct in commanding him to increase and multiply, but desire in him was then entirely obedient. Adam would have had to resolve to transmit life, in consideration of God's commandment, and desire would have followed on that choice of reason, if humankind had developed in this way, with the gift of original integrity in that state of innocence. Instinct would never have been able to manifest itself outside the framework of conjugal virtue. Never would desire have drawn man toward any woman but his spouse. Never would it have drawn him to his spouse without having first been set in motion by reason and love. Immediately after the fall, however, the two saw that they were naked, that is, Eve felt weighing on her that gaze of disordered concupiscence. Adam, who had once been fascinated by the beauty that elevated him, suddenly found himself obsessed by the sight of a body that aroused desire. He no longer had mastery of his own body and was obliged to cover his shame with leaves that hid the disordered movements which he could no longer impede. Just as we no longer master the fact of salivating when someone speaks to us of a savory meal, man is now hostage to his own instinct before the body of a woman. He can only turn his will away from what is happening in him. He can no longer even appreciate beauty because passion blinds his reason and only leaves room for desire. Adam, remembering his innocence, was full of confusion and found himself obliged shamefully to turn his eyes from the one whom he had once contemplated. Eve herself hid from this gaze under which she felt herself reduced to an abject. Be ready for Modesty. Catholic dress code. Video 1.
The Most Holy Rosary. To Satan. Extra ecclesiam nulla salus. Outside the church, there is no salvation. Come home or you will burn in hell forever.
Game over.
Be sober and watch, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, goeth about seeking whom he may devour. First Epistle of St. Peter, chapter 5, verse 8.
Open your eyes. Immaculata lives. Ave Maria. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
For all your natural health needs, DM at Our Lady Herbs. Death to the system. Long live Christ King. And Our Lady of Guadalupe. For Catholic headgear and sports rosaries, visit at JMJCat3, because being Catholic is not just for Sunday. Fear the Lamb.
Game over.